Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely demystify the process of navigating McHenry County's online real estate databases. Look, whether you're a prospective homeowner, a real estate investor hunting for that next big opportunity, a local historian, or honestly, just someone who likes to stay informed about their neighborhood, this is absolutely for you. We're going to take what can sometimes feel like a tangled, bureaucratic web of local government sites and break it down into simple, super actionable steps.
It's a pretty common curiosity, right? I mean, ever wondered how much that charming house down the street actually sold for? Or who holds the title to that vacant, historic lot on the corner? You might think you need to hire a professional or pay some ridiculous premium subscription to a third-party data broker to find this stuff out. But here's the secret. It is incredibly easy and completely free to uncover all these details right from your own computer. You just need to know exactly where to look, and today I'm going to hand you the map.
So here is our roadmap for today. First, why property records matter. Then, finding your property PIN. Next, navigating taxes and assessments. After that, deeds and legal records. Then we'll get into pro tips and troubleshooting. And finally, fraud alerts and disclaimers.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Why Property Records Matter.
Okay, so the very first thing we need to understand is that McHenry County is kind of like a decentralized network. The county doesn't just have one giant filing cabinet with everything shoved inside. It's more like a giant puzzle. If you want to know property boundaries, well, you go to the GIS department. Curious about a home's valuation? That's the supervisor of assessments. Need to know if property taxes are paid? The county treasurer handles the billing, while the county clerk handles delinquent tax redemptions. And finally, if you need to trace legal ownership, dig up deeds, or find out if there's a lien on a property, the county recorder is your go-to custodian. Understanding this breakdown right off the bat is going to save you hours of randomly clicking around the wrong websites.
Moving right along to Section 2, Finding Your Property PIN.
To access almost all of these separate databases efficiently, you need one foundational piece of data. That is your permanent index number, or PIN. It's a unique 10-digit sequence, usually formatted with dashes. The first number is actually mapped to the specific geographical township and section of the county. I want you to think of this PIN as the ultimate skeleton key. Because while an address can sometimes be written in a bunch of different ways, or a vacant lot might not even have a standard street address at all, the PIN is absolute. It literally links the geographic mapping directly to all the tax and legal records.
So let's see how this builds into our first practical step. To find that PIN, you're going to use the County GIS Department's interactive map, which is called Athena. You simply navigate to the Athena Public Property Search Viewer online. And honestly, the interface is incredibly user-friendly. You literally just type in a physical address or even a property owner's name, and the map will zoom right to the parcel. Once you click on it, a little information box pops up, and right there at the top, you will find your 10-digit PIN. Make sure you copy that number down because you are going to be using it a lot.
Now for Section 3, Navigating Taxes and Assessments.
Armed with our skeleton key, that PIN, we're now ready to cross over into fiscal data territory. This is where things get really interesting, especially if you're evaluating a property's financial footprint. You'll take that PIN and head straight over to the McHenry County Property Tax Inquiry Portal. Now, this portal is powered by a software platform called DevNet Wedge. What makes this portal such a massive game changer is that it acts as a central hub. So instead of you having to manually cross-reference the assessment office, the treasurer, and the county clerk, the Edge portal pulls all their data into one unified summary for that specific PIN.
And what's truly fascinating here is the sheer amount of practical intelligence you can extract. In the tax inquiry portal, you get the exact legal description of the property. But more importantly for all you buyers and investors out there, you can instantly see a straightforward yes or no indicator for unpaid back taxes. You can also view a complete breakdown of literally every taxing body. We're talking schools, parks, libraries that levies taxes on the property, along with the historical assessed valuations. It's just an incredibly transparent look into the financial obligations tied to any piece of land.
Let's dive into Section 4, Deeds and Legal Records.
Now that we've got a solid grasp on the taxes, let's shift our focus to establishing legal title. Who actually owns the property? What is the ownership history? And are there any encumbrances like a mortgage or a mechanic's lien attached to it? Well, $3,900,000. Let that sink in. That is the massive scale of the county's archives. Recorder Joseph J. Tirio's office maintains over 3.9 million historical real estate documents. Every single time a property changes hands or a bank issues a mortgage, it gets recorded in this massive, centuries-old archive. And thankfully for us, they've brought this entire archive into the digital age.
But here is a crystal clear distinction that is absolutely going to save you some frustration and some cash.
The Recorder's Office offers 2 different online tools. First, there is the McHenry County free web search. You should absolutely start here. It gives you completely free access to search indexed land records. You can verify ownership, you can see when a deed was recorded, and you can get the official document numbers. However, if you need to actually print or download a PDF copy of that official deed or lien, you have to use a system called Tapestry EON. And Tapestry is a pay-as-you-go system. So the pro tip here, use the free search for your everyday research and only pay Tapestry when you actually need the hard copies for official business.
All right, Section 5, Pro Tips and Troubleshooting.
By now, you know how to find the PIN, check the taxes, and look up the deeds. But what happens when you need more specific details? Things like the exact square footage of a house or a sketch of the building layout. Let's talk about some insider tips. McHenry County is decentralized, meaning it's actually divided into 17 civil townships, and each one has its own local assessor. The county aggregates their data, but for the really granular, structural specifics, like building sketches or permits, you often have to visit the individual township assessor websites. Here's a cool trick. Use the first 2 digits of your PIN to know exactly where to go. If your PIN starts with 09 or 10, head straight to the McHenry Township site. If it starts with 13, you need the Door Township site. And hey, if you are looking for historical property transfer declarations, you can even go up to the state level and use the Illinois Department of Revenue's free MyDeck system. Basically, if you ever hit a wall at the county level, remember to look down to the township or up to the state.
Finally, we have Section 6, Fraud Alerts and Disclaimers.
Before we wrap things up today, we really need to discuss how to protect the property data you might already own. While you're doing all this research, you should absolutely take 2 minutes to protect yourself. The McHenry County Recorder offers a property fraud alert program. It is a completely free service. You simply sign up with your name, and the system will automatically send you an email or phone notification anytime a document is recorded in your name. Deed fraud might not be an everyday occurrence, but it definitely does happen, and this free tool gives you an immediate heads up before any real damage is done to your property's title.
And finally, just a quick note on the legalities of all this. The data provided through these county portals is incredibly powerful, for sure, but it is strictly for informational purposes only. Local governments work incredibly hard to maintain accuracy, but hey, data entry errors can happen. Because of that, this information is not a substitute for formal legal advice, a professional title search by a title company, or a certified appraisal. Keep that in mind as you do your research.
And there you have it. You now have a complete, step-by-step framework to navigate McHenry County's property records online, totally for free. From pulling your PIN on the Athena map to checking tax levies on the Wedge portal and tracking down deeds through the Recorder's free search. Now that you possess the skeleton key to this incredible wealth of local history and real estate data, what hidden neighborhood secrets will you uncover first? Dive in, start exploring, and happy researching.